The Democratic Republic of Congo is a vast country with immense economic resources and until recently has been at the center of what some observers call Africa's World War, with widespread civilian suffering as a result. The war claimed up to 6 million lives either as a direct result of fighting or because of disease and malnutrition. The war had an economic as well as political side. Fighting was fueled by the country's vast mineral wealth, with all sides taking advantage of the anarchy to plunder natural resources. Today, the effects of the conflict in the DRC are extremely apparent. Life expectancy is 49 years compared to the global average of 70 years, and 168 children born out of the every 1,000 die before reaching the age of 5. In 2011, more than a quarter of the population was sickened by malaria. More than 2.3 million citizens remain displaced from their homes within the country, and thousands more have fled to neighboring countries for refuge from the ongoing violence. Though these statistics have improved slightly since the peak of the Civil War in the mid-1990s, 71% of the DRC's population continues to live below the poverty line. Experts say that the country's scale is a primary factor causing many to die from easily preventable conditions such as malnutrition, malaria, and pneumonia. Humanitarian and aid organizations struggle to serve the DRC's large population as renewed rebel activities in eastern provinces continue to displace large segments of the population. Although fighting has decreased drastically, there is still ongoing violence in the east. The UN has been a large contributing factor in the rebuilding and peacekeeping in Congo.
While peace has formally been declared, fighting, rape, and torture continue to take place.
The Congolese live on 1 meal a day. They are working like 10 hours in a field doing heavy labor. In rural areas, 80% of the population does not have access to safe drinking water.
1,200 people die every day in the Congo from preventable disease, violence, and malnutrition.
Burkina Faso is a small landlocked country located in Africa. Their main trade partner is Canada, and their primary export is gold. Because their primary export is gold, the land there is extremely overfarmed and causes many droughts. Burkina Faso is one of the poorest countries in the world. 45% of the population lives on less than $1.25 a day. One half of the population of 17.4 million live below the poverty line. Burkina Faso has some of the poorest sanitary conditions. Over 4.4 million cases of malaria were reported in 2009, and it is the #1 killer of children. 1 out of 10 houses have toilets. As of 2009, there were 920 doctors in the country, which is less than 1 physician for every 10,000 people. The children living there manage in harsh conditions. 166 out of every 1,000 children are likely to die before their 5th birthday. 30% of children under 5 years old are underweight. In 1998, 41% of children attended primary school, 10% attended secondary school, and 1% pursued higher education. In general, the average lifespan has gone up to 52 years from a previous 48. The United Nations Development Program has reported that 63.8% of people live in severe multidimensional poverty, and that rate will continue to go up until a solution is found.
What I thought when I came to Burkina Faso, when I met all these people, I was surprised because I was expecting that people would be they were about to be starving there, but they weren't. I didn't see any totally desperate people. I would say I could see people are working hard and they are leading hard lives, but they're getting on with it.
Rwanda is a landlocked, resource-poor country that is home to more than 11 million people, with an annual growth rate of around 3%. It is the most densely packed country in Africa and is one of its poorest countries as well. An estimated 39.1% of Rwanda's population live below the poverty line. The survival of the Rwandans is dependent on agriculture, but there are a number of factors such as erosion and their lack of modern technology that is leading to less and less food production. A majority of these problems can be linked to the genocide of 1994. 1 million people were killed, with another 2 million fleeing the country. This mass murder also created 800,000 refugees and displaced persons, and a major change in demographic structure. Women make up 54% of the general population, and they were forced, along with children, to take charge of the households. Studies showed that households headed by women and/or children and households affected by HIV or AIDS are the most affected or the most at risk of falling into poverty. Rwanda is truly a suffering country. 44% of their children suffer from stunting. This means that due to a lack of adequate nutrition, these children cannot grow to their full potential. Rwandans and African people in general are truly suffering from the dramatic and unending effects of poverty.
Imyaka ibaye myinshi twibuka abacu bazize jenoside niduteze kuzaca.
Haiti is the poorest country in the world, with a poverty rate of 77%. It is also the third hungriest country in the world. Today, only 50% of Haiti's population has access to an improved water source, while the other 50% rely on lakes and rivers. The destructive 2010 earthquake in Haiti affected at least 3 million people and increased poverty rates greatly. Before the devastating earthquake, 1.9 million people were in need of food assistance. This number greatly increased after the destruction. Prior to the magnitude 7 earthquake, an estimated 380,000 children were orphans, and within that, there were about 250,000 restivex, or children working as servants, often treated as slaves. As of 2015, the Caribbean country's population was almost 11 million people. Over half the population lives in the national poverty rate, and 24.7% of the population deals with extreme poverty. To add to these gruesome facts, half of Haiti's population is illiterate, and the other half that does not get an education. Only 30% of them progress to the 5th grade. With the lack of sanitation and availability to proper showers, you can only imagine the diseases and infections that run rampant. The richest 1% of Haitians own the same wealth as 45% of the poorest population. These facts are just skimming the top of the issues that people in Haiti are facing today. However, many of Haiti's landmarks dating to the early 19th century remain intact. This could produce hope for the people of Haiti.